Hi, I'm Scott, and I'm an American who's been living in Thailand for the past 16 years ผมชื่อสกอตแล้วก็ผมเป็นคนอเมริกาอยู่ประเทศไทย16 ปีแล้ว The Tiger Temple is a popular tourist attraction in Kanchanaburi province, about 2 hours away from Bangkok. Whenever the subject of Thailand's tigers or the major tourist attractions of Thailand comes up, inevitably so does the subject of the Tiger Temple. Okay, the 8 reasons that I won't go to the Tiger Temple. Reason number 1, tigers are wild animals. It's as simple as that. They belong in the wild. This alone should be enough of a reason for people not to go to the temple. When I want to see a wild animal, I want to see it in its natural environment. I don't want to see it in a cage or in a petting zoo. Reason number 2, the temple lacks the necessary space and habitat for its tigers. Tigers need approximately 20 to 100 square kilometers of territory. Even the Tiger Island project it's only 30 rai. Now 30 rai, to give you an idea of how big that is, 1 square kilometer is 625 rai. So that's very, very small in comparison to what the tigers need. And there's an estimated 100 tigers at the temple currently. Safety issues. Now this should be a given. The tigers have yet to seriously injure or kill someone, but a mauling or a death could happen easily in a split second. Then what's going to happen? What happens if one of the tigers kills someone or takes a swipe at a kid and tears off half of the child's face? Will the tiger be put down, or will it be put in a cage for the rest of its life? A bamboo stick is not going to stop a determined tiger from attacking, nor is a thick chain that acts as its leash. And a 4-foot high chain link fence can easily be scaled by a tiger, and they're dangerous animals. They're not cuddly pets. It's not cool to go and touch them, and despite what people think, all it's going to take is a split second. I really don't care what the monks say about that they're tame or that they're sleepy because they've been eating. You think about it. Do you really want to put your child at risk? Well, if you wouldn't put your child at risk, why would you put yourself at risk? Reason number 4, the allegations of abuse. If only 1 or 2 people came forward and alleged that there had been abuse or mistreatment at the temple, I might be inclined to downplay it or brush it aside as a one-off. But there are numerous reports of abuse and mistreatment, and you can go on YouTube and find video of the staff punching and prodding the tigers with sticks, grabbing them by their tails and dragging them around. And I just think that that's wrong to do that. It's the temple says that one of the things that it's bound to do is to uphold the sanctity and compassion and kindness to all living creatures. Well, I understand you want to move the tiger and you need to put it in position to take photos, but whether it hurts them or not, yanking them by their tail, leading them around by a chain, it doesn't seem like that's compassionate to me. Reason number 5, there is a terrible track record of wild animal care in Thailand. I don't even know where to begin with this subject. First, there's the temple. There's allegations of illegal wildlife trade. They're breeding the animals without a license, which is illegal. And some other notable places with a history of problems are the Safari World, Sri Racha Tiger Zoo, the Chiang Mai Night Safari, Samut Prakan Crocodile Farm. There are numerous places that have had serious issues with how they keep their animals and how they treat them. Don't get me wrong, there are numerous people in Thailand dedicated to saving and rehabilitating wild animals. But considering all of the past transgressions and the accusations levied at the temple, it makes it very difficult for me to buy the story of how the temple became a wildlife sanctuary. From their own website, an injured boar from the forest came into the monastery, and a monk cured it until it could be released to the forest. The next day, about 10 wild boars came into the monastery. 3 months passed, and there were about 100 wild boars coming into the monastery for food every day, although there is no specific food offered for them. This shows how they feel about this place. Let alone other animals came and remained here permanently up until now. I'm really hesitant to believe that just because one boar was cured, its family came back the next day, and then before they know it, 100 boars are coming to the monastery every day for food, even when they have no food for them. So, I have to laugh about it, because the statement, this shows how they feel about this place. I really doubt that the boars are all gathering together and saying, wow, we really feel great about this place, and let's go there every day. Somehow, this seems a bit far-fetched, at least scientifically. As far as the tigers go, their story, that just a few weeks after the first cub died, 2 healthy males were intercepted from poachers and brought to the monastery. They were tiny, just a week old. A few months later, local villagers presented another 2 male cubs. Soon after, the Border Patrol police intercepted cubs held by poachers and contributed 4 female cubs, achieving tiger harmony. Now, the abbot Pra Achan Chan, or Achan Pusit, kindly welcomed the animals. And so the monks ended up looking after the orphan cubs. None of them had any training in how to handle tigers. They had to learn on the job. The monastery did its duty. It became a sanctuary and upholds the sanctity of compassion and kindness to all living creatures. Again, I don't know what to say about this. None of them had any training in how to handle tigers. They had to learn on the job. Thus, the monastery did its duty. First, I didn't know that it was the monastery's duty to take in wild animals. Second, instead of exhausting all avenues to find a zoo, a park, or a true wildlife sanctuary to where they could transfer the tigers to, when there were relatively few of them, the monks decided to keep them. And it really sounds a bit strange to me, especially since they knew absolutely nothing about handling tigers. I can understand them feeding the cubs for a few days or even a few weeks or months, but in the end I would think that they would try to find a proper wildlife sanctuary. So that's the 6th reason. Reason number 7, Tiger Island. The temple's Tiger Island project began in April of 2004. I mean, I understand delays, but this is almost 9 years. And the project is not finished. So when is it going to be finished? Because I'm sure people would like to see this. They'd like to see that there has been something done with the money that they paid to either come in and see the tigers and have their photos taken with them, and also that they've donated. And this is one other issue, and I do plan to find out about this, but I'd like to know, is there a public record of all the funds that have been allocated and spent on this Tiger Island project? So this project is something that there's just the fact it's taken 9 years, I find that ridiculous. Somehow I think they would find a way to blast through the granite that they say is stopping construction. I just don't understand this. And that's something, it's just one more of many things that adds to the list. Okay, reason number 8. The temple is a tourist trap, and it's a business. It is not a sanctuary. It's not a conservation center, nor is it a licensed breeding center. So, is the temple's main purpose to earn money as a tourist destination, or is it to rehabilitate tigers and then release them into the wild? For the record, many scientists believe that interbreeding one species of tiger with another pollutes the gene pool and creates a generic tiger. And I'm no scientist, but so far there's only been one generic tiger released into the wild, or reintroduced to the wild, and that's by Billy Singh, an Indian. And he caught a lot of flack for it. Apparently the tiger had cubs, but this is the only instance of a tiger which is been interbred, being reintroduced into the wild. And also, I've never heard or read, in all the research I've done, I haven't seen one case where the tigers have been reintroduced to the wild from the Tiger Temple. And the thing is that in the beginning, the tiger, the abbot of the Tiger Temple, Pra Achan Pusit, or Chan as he's also known, once said his dream was to reintroduce orphan tigers back into the wild. In 23 years that this temple has been a supposed sanctuary and rescue facility, there have been no reports of any of the tigers being released back into the wild. The tigers are not being bred so that they can be released into the wild. If they release all the tigers back into the wild, there's no more Tiger Temple and there's no more funds coming in from tourists and from donations. So I don't get this either. Okay? But it's a tourist trap, and that alone makes me not want to go there. But the fact that there are some improprieties alleged, that's just one more reason. There's a long list of reasons, and there's far more reasons than the 8 reasons that I'm giving. So what is the answer? I wish I knew. The Tiger Temple is no longer recommended by travel guides and agencies, and it seems there are more negative reports coming out on a regular basis. There are also positive reports of the place, but for me, the reasons that I've just given are enough for me to never want to go to the Tiger Temple. I don't particularly like zoos, but when you add in the close proximity of the tigers to the tourists, putting them in danger, and basically, in my opinion, exploiting the tigers, that's just too much for me, so I won't be going. Thank you for watching. I'm Scott, an American in Thailand. โชคดีและเจอกันใหม่สำหรับคนไทยพอแค่นี้ก่อนนะครับขอบคุณมากนะครับที่มาดูวิดีโอของผมเหมือนเดิมแต่ยังไงก็รักผู้ชมนะครับขอบคุณมาก